guys, got a really cool alternate picking metal riff for you to learn today, and there's another little technique that we're kind of adding to this alternate picking riff that you heard in the beginning and what we just played. We're going to play that together in a second. What I'll say is this technique is also used in the song Trapped Under Ice off Metallica's Ride the Lightning album. Now, of course, at the end of the lesson, I'm going to show you some ways you can expand on this riff. This is really important, and make it your own. So hang around for that, and of course, we'll have our usual guitar chat at the end as well. So let's get right to it. I'm going to play this out in the open without any backing tracks. And again, we'll listen to the backing track again later. I'll have the tabs up for you, and we'll play along with that together. So here's the riff. I'm in standard tuning. What we're doing is we're going to start with the open E string, but very quickly we're going to hammer down on the second fret, okay? And that's when we bring in the alternate picking. Now, what I would encourage you to do, if this is something, an area you kind of struggle in, I would just encourage you to practice that over and over. Most of the time, I encourage you to practice things a little bit slower, but when you're alternate picking, you don't necessarily want to play that slower. That could actually hurt you in the long run. And it's not so much that you're trying to be the fastest guitar player. That stuff really doesn't matter a whole lot, to be honest with you. What matters more is captivating the listener with the riff you play, whether that's slow, whether it's fast. It really doesn't matter. Is it a killer riff though? Is it captivating you, first of all, as the guitarist that's writing these riffs? And of course, is that captivating to the people that are listening to your riffs? So that's the important stuff, right? But in any case, my point is, you don't want to try to play this too slow because it's just not going to sound right. And again, that could hurt you in the long run. So think of, you're not trying to play it as fast as possible, but also get that alternate picking, get that pedaling going. So let's play through that real quick a few times, okay? All right, next we're going to play a variation of a G power chord, but instead of frets 3 and 5, I'm playing this really killer version of it, frets 3 and 4. Listen to how this sounds. This is cool. It's just got that really like haunting feel to it, right? So we do that hammer on with the alternate picking. We do that 3 times, then we go to this chord. And by the way, guys, this riff doesn't really exist. It just exists as of right now. I like to make stuff up. I'll take riffs that I've written sometimes and of course share that with you. But a lot of times I'm just sitting in my room here in my studio and I'll just make something up. I'm like, you know, this could be a really cool lesson. Sometimes the riff might sound similar to something like that. Technique again is used in the song Trapped Under Ice by Metallica. But yeah, that's the exercise. Now there's one more part to it. We go back to the hammer on and the alternate picking, but I end a little differently with some different power chords here. So let me play the whole riff all the way through, and then we'll go over that last part. Now the second time around, I only do the hammer on with the alternate picking twice. And then we go to power chords, B flat, we've got an A there, and then we have the G power chord, just regular power chords. What I'm doing there is I'm palm muting. After I play the B flat, the A, I'm doing a little palm mute before the G, kind of give it like a little, have a little placeholder, if you will. Sometimes, and this is kind of where my playing gets a little weird, sometimes I might just palm mute the open string. Sometimes I might palm mute just the power chord I'm playing. Or the power chord I'm going to play. There's not a whole lot of difference between those three variations. I honestly, myself, I don't really worry about the little nuances like that so much. I just want to have some kind of placeholder before going to that chord, just because it makes it sound cooler to me. So I would say, and this is kind of where we get into writing your own riffs, taking a riff and making it your own. Play what sounds cool to you, what feels right to you, what sounds best to you. So let's go over this. Let's play together with the backing track here. I'll put the tablature up for you, and then hang around after that, because we're going to talk about some ways to make this riff your own. Guys, it is time for our guitar chat, but first, if you do not have my free Metal Riffs and Licks practice guide, download a copy of that. This guide has literally helped thousands of my YouTube subscribers, and I give this away to all of my YouTube subscribers, so there's a link in the description of this video to download your copy of Metal Riffs and Licks. If you already have my practice guide, well, you might want my course called Metal Riff Master. There are currently over 80 metal riffs, and they're not all in the same key, and we go over different techniques, combining these different techniques together in these riffs. So check out Metal Riff Master as well. Links for these are in the description of this video. Now, one way you can easily make this riff your own and just change it up entirely is, instead of starting with the E string, why not start with the A string, right? Let's hear what those two sound like. I'll play it the original way that we just learned together, and then I'll play it on the A string as well. Pretty cool. I mean, I like both of them. Which one do you like best, starting on E string or starting on the A string? It gives it a different character. It just kind of changes things. And you don't have to do either or. What if you wrote a riff and you're like, okay, well, I like this riff, but now let me play this riff in a different area. And you like them both so much, you just include them in the same song. Like, what if the first half of the verse of the song was starting on the E string, but then the second half of that verse went to the A string? Well, that'd be a cool way to just captivate the listener, and of course captivate yourself as the person writing this thing. One more, let's do something else. Let's just change the power chord, right? Let's go somewhere else. I'm just gonna make something up. We'll do this on the A string, by the way. Okay, maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, but my point is just to try some different things. You don't always have to play that riff the way you learn the riff, whether it's a riff I'm showing you or a riff that you just learned from maybe your favorite band or favorite song. Okay, great, you learned it, but now what can you do with it? That's the number one question, and in my opinion, that's what gets you from just being a guitar player, just kind of jamming and learning stuff, from being a guitar player to really becoming your own guitar player and your own musician, because now you're creating, you're not just copying someone else. And don't get me wrong, I'm not against learning riffs. I'm glad that you learn these riffs. This is where we start that, right? This is where we get our inspiration and ideas from. But I really want to push you to make your own riffs. Take this, take what we just learned, take this from me, and just run with it. See what you can come up with. So I hope this lesson helped you. Leave me any comments. Hey, if you got some value out of this, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'll see you on the next video. As always, keep it metal and keep playing music.